Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Gina once again. I'm working in my 100 Days of Creating journal today, and I'm continuing my 100 Days of Creating. Today I'm going to do 43 and 44, and I decided that I wanted to work on fabric today because I don't know if I ever did, but I just wanted a different substrate and texture and a different feel. And I was feeling like if I have a different feeling texture to begin with, it would direct my decisions differently, and it would hopefully breed more creativity. So what I'm trying to do is just fray the edges of this because I wanted it to be nice and feathery, fluffy at the ends, but it didn't quite work out. I thought that for me to add the paint and for it to stay and not run, I would put the clear gesso to give it some sort of hold. So that's what I'm doing now, and then I'm going to dry it. So I'm excited to see how this feels after it dries and what's going to happen. I'm excited. And it feels so nice working with the fabric. It's cotton. It's not brown cotton. It's a lighter shade, but it's not white cotton either. And it feels great. I love it. I was like, why didn't I work with cloth before? I should have done this a long time ago. And then I didn't know what to do. So I thought, I haven't drawn anything in a while, so let me do some drawing. So I was going to leave the piece whole and stick it on a double page, but then I thought, even if I do something similar on both sides, I think I still want it separate. Here I'm really, really trying to fray the edges, and it's given me a hard time. And I think because I added the clear gesso, it's holding those fibers together, so they're not as loose as they would have been if I had left it. So they feel much more knitted together since I put the gesso. So I'm just ripping it down, trying to keep my frayed edges and trying to get it to size to fit on my page nicely. I'm excited, and I really want to keep that stencil in the background as well. So it's just, my intention is to do whatever on top and just keep below to not cover it up, because I know I'm still working on getting over that part of my art, on covering things up and being okay with it. So I'm going to bring out my drawing, well, what I hope to draw. I'm sorry about the glare. I was going to just reference it, but then I rested my cloth on it and I was like, hey, I could kind of trace it out, sort of. I could slightly see it below. So yeah, I cheated a bit. I did. But the thing is, I didn't want to think too much about it. And I just wanted to get it wasn't even meant to be any kind of detailed drawing. It was just to get a bird on. I actually was just thinking I would just give it a little outline and have it there as like a sketch. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I could do a sketch. So I'm doing that, and I'm using the pencil so that I could erase my mistakes, which is actually really working out. And I'm enjoying it. And while I was drawing, I was thinking, I miss this. I miss drawing. But I don't want to spend too much time doing it because I don't have much time to play with in the first place. So it's not, all the proportions aren't exactly right, even though I kind of traced it, sort of. I kind of sketched over it, not exact tracing, if you know what I mean. But yeah. And then I use the charcoal pencil to darken up those lines so he will stand out more. And then it was at this point I decided the background is too plain, so maybe I will paint it after all. I'm trying to decide which brush to use, which colors to use, and because I want to do the bird as well as the background, I need some color on this piece of cloth. Need some color. And then I realized that I needed to have the bird again as reference, so I'm going to bring it in. See, I wasn't sure what to do, what colors to use. I don't know what to do. Yeah. So I went and I got back my picture. It's like, okay, Gina, now you could focus. Just use your reference. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. So instead of starting with the background, I'm going to start with the bird and just get some color down. I did it very watery because I didn't want it intense. But I stopped here because I wanted to see how it would spread, if it would run outside of the bird, but it didn't. Yeah, outside of the lines, but it didn't. Because that actually tended to happen whenever I tried painting on cloth. It would just spread in places I didn't want it to, and yeah, it wasn't cool. Especially since I watered this down so much, so I was checking for the spread action happening. But it turned out pretty cool. So now I'm trying to create some lighter areas. I'm adding in some white here and there to give the illusion of shadow, lighter and darker areas. And I'm just playing around and trying this out. I'm not accustomed to doing animals. Animals, they always feel like they're so difficult. So maybe that's something that I could work on. But animals it's actually something I was never drawn to. And then when I kept seeing more of it online, I would actually shy away from it. Like purposefully not do animals until I had to do the swap, and the ATC cards we had to do animals. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. Gina, take the challenge, do it. So yes, so now I'm just trying to mimic basic, just very basic, mimic what I see on the picture. Very basic, not detailed as much as it, because on the picture I could see a lot of feathers and it's very detailed, but it's just basic, like a cartoon. I love cartoons, so I'm just trying to get it very basic, but still capture light and shadow, and to give it some depth and for it to look a bit realistic at the same time. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. So I'm actually enjoying this process very much, and I don't know if I'll do another animal soon, but we'll see. Maybe I'll look for another fun, easy, simple one to do. I'll try it. So I'm trying to get all those highlights and, little small shadows, the basics, as I said. Trying to keep the lighting and, yeah. So I felt like the bird was good, and I've decided to do this stick, the branch. At first I was going to just do part way of it, just the left side of it yellow, but I said, you know what, let's do the underpainting, and I did the whole thing yellow, and then I went over it with the green, and then I am now trying to create the illusion of a two-toned, well, not two, but several tone, trying to make it look as natural as possible with the original tones and the shadowing and the different coloring. And I actually really, really love the way that it turned out. And in the original picture, there's a hint of, it's not pink, but it's kind of burgundy-ish, heading into brown color. So I guess that translated into pink in my mind. So I'm putting pink. Or is it? Yeah, it's pink. And yeah, I think it's red actually. It looks like pink. No, I think it's red. And I really, really like how that branch turned out. This bird makes me happy. He just makes me feel, it's just, you look at it and for me I just think happy. So every time I see it, I smile. I like birds and I like nature and I like plants, and yeah, so when I see this I think happy thoughts. Actually, not even so much, I just think happy. So now I'm putting in my background. It's very different from what's on the calendar there, but I'm just trying to guesstimate how would the bird look against a certain color background. I didn't want the whole thing to be green, which is what it appears to be on the calendar. So I added in some blues and, green. Yes, it has green, and I did some yellows as well. But I think I wanted some blue so it would appear as if it's reflected, up against the sky in some way. I guess the way the shot is, the angle, I don't know. But yeah, yellow and blue looks nice, so I thought let's do some blue on mine. So I'm just going to play around trying to add those colors. I'm trying to add it, but not everywhere. Trying for some areas to be more intense than others and praying that it turns out well. And this is where things went south. I thought I want to do splashes because splashes makes everything nice. But my cloth was still damp, so it's spreading. And even on this one that's very dry, it's spreading. And I don't like it. So I thought I'd add some red. Maybe that'll help it be better, and it doesn't. And I thought, okay, maybe it will work better here, but it doesn't. And I don't like it at all. So I'm going to try to erase it by adding some water to help it spread out. But I was in time for some areas, but in some areas it was already set in. So I tried to get it all out. Those splashes made things really bad. I spoiled it. Yeah, so I had a lot of trouble down below here. I don't know what was happening with the paint and the cloth. There was a line, and then it looked like the color wasn't going into the cloth, and it was just strange. And I don't know if it's because of the gesso. I don't know what happened, but it just got weird down there. So I'm trying my best. I'm adding some color. I'm washing out some color. Trying to cover up some things, trying to spread some. And I was just thinking, gosh, save this, don't spoil. So yeah. And then with this one, I didn't know what to do at all. I'm thinking and I'm thinking. I spent a long time on these two pieces. This one is mostly dry now. And I was just inspecting it, looking at the line that happened and trying to figure out. So for this one, I decided I would like to continue it with cloth. So I just pulled out some pieces that I think might possibly work. And I'm just fiddling around trying to see which ones look good, which ones I'm going to use. And I'm just playing around. But for this one, it's just, I wanted it to be just cloth. I am really enjoying working with the cloth. And one of these days, hopefully soon, I will do some sewing, like some hand sewing, which is, I think about it. Would you believe I think about it every time I sit down to create and then I don't do it? So, and the sewing materials are nearby, so that's not the reason. I don't know, maybe it's like the animals, I kind of run away from it. But I was thinking, if this time I'm working with the texture, the cloth, the fabric, then for sure I'll do some hand sewing. That was my reasoning. Here I'm adding just some colors to reflect the other pieces of fabric, because I found the background of I really didn't like those splashes. I think this is the first time, maybe the second, I don't remember, but I just didn't like it at all. I was like, ew. So I'm just adding some background color to tie in with the fabric that's on the base, and hoping that it helps everything tie together better. So I finally decided I am going to leave it as is after looking at it for a long time, and I'm going to stick things down. Then I thought, let me try some forward stitching and see how it looks, because I was thinking maybe I could do some stitching across the top. I said, let me draw it in first and see if I like it, and I think it looks good. So I went and I took it. No. I saw that I had pieces of paper on the side, and I was wondering how the paper would look with all of that fabric, because then that would be the only piece of paper. And I thought, that's so cool, because normally it would be the other way around, where it would be lots of paper and then we would put a piece of fabric to, to change up the texture. So I thought how cool it would be if this time I added piece of paper on top of all of that fabric. I just thought that was so cool. And I know it's been done before, it's just I've never done it. So it's exciting. Okay. So I made this decision, and then for the life of me, I just couldn't get the right piece of paper. I couldn't get the right shape, the right size, and it was starting to annoy me, and I was thinking maybe I just won't bother. But I really wanted to put piece of paper in. It just, I don't know, I just couldn't rip it right. It sounds like a song, doesn't it? Ooh, whip it good. I don't remember where that's from. Anyways. So yes, I liked it, and I said this is enough, and I took it to my sewing machine and I stitched it. I did straight stitch probably like 6 times, because 1 was just boring and then 2 was ugh. So yeah, I did it probably 5 or 6 times, and I liked it, and I'm so happy. It makes me so happy feeling it and holding it in my hands and working with it. And here I realized I didn't really stick the red down properly, so I'm going to oh no, I didn't fix it. Right, so I'm giving you a moving close-up. There you go. And you see how it's kind of stiff? It's because of the it's because of the gesso. The cloth became a bit stiff. So now I'm trying to decide how to attach it without interfering with my image behind. So now I'm looking for my masking tape. I decided that I would use masking tape behind it and then stick the masking tape to the page. And I wanted to use a pin. I think I was looking for a piece of cloth, and I saw these pins that I had there, and I wanted to put a pin on it just because. Why not have some metal on the cloth? And I put that on before I stuck it down, so it's not going to interfere with the other side of the page. Yay! I was happy. I'm happy. I like this. And then underneath is really plain, so I need to get something there. And part of the underneath is showing, so I'm just giving it a border. So yeah. And now I'm going to put the other side down, but I decided to give this a border as well because it really needed something. I just didn't know how to do it, so I just drew it in. I'm using this is actually what does it say? It says Sharpie China marker. Yeah, Sharpie China marker. And it's the one that you peel off, so you don't have to sharpen it. I find that so cool. So I'm drawing that on. I'm doing some sharp like dashes, yeah. And that looked so much better to me. I'm so happy. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm putting the tape and I'm putting the glue on the tape and then sticking it onto the, here I'm signing it. I'm putting the year. And then I'm going to put the glue on the tape and tape it to the page. I felt that the underneath was very boring, very, very blank. So I thought, since it's a bird, birds like flowers and plants, so let me put a picture of a plant there. So I printed this out and I dyed it with food coloring. And it just happens to look like the color underneath with the bricks. And I'm going to just stick that down there. I love it! I've been looking for a home for this picture for a long time. So I'm very happy. This book it makes me so happy. I love flipping through it. I love feeling it. It's nice and, it's a little chunky. Not as chunky as I would like, but it's not flat and boring. I realize I don't like flat, boring books anymore. Thank you, mixed media. I'm trying to put some dashes. I don't know if there's a specific name for it, but I'm just putting the dashes so I could fit the picture through those slots. And of course I didn't measure anything, so I'm just fiddling around a lot. There was a lot of fiddling around, but I cut it out so that I could get the edges into those slots and get the picture stuck onto the page. It was fun though. I really, really love this picture. Love it. It's so pretty. Okay. And then for this side, I have this picture that I printed also a long time ago. And it reminds me of my daughter so much. She's 13 now, and these days she's so into her hair, combing her hair all the time. And I just saw this and I was like, oh, Gabby. That's my girl. So yeah, every time I see it, I'm going to think of her and smile. So I don't want to take a long time thinking about this. And I'm just going to stick it down. I did it skewed like this because when I was trying to fix it, it twisted and I liked how it looked. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to stick it down slanted. And that was good. And then this is piece that I cut off earlier when I was organizing my fabric, so I just stuck it down underneath, which ties in with the fabric on top because there's a piece of that on top. and the color it goes really well with the color of the picture. So now I'm just using the marker to complete the border of that frame. I love these pages. Oh, I didn't stick this one yet. So I ended up sticking this one like a pocket. So if I ever want to, I could just write something inside, and I most likely will write something about Gabby and just how I feel, I guess, about nature, and I'll just tuck it inside that little pocket there. So this is my close-up. I love this. I love the textures. I love the sewing. I love it. Thank you so much. I love this birdie. Oh my gosh. He's so cute. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it inspired you to create, and I will see you in the next video.